sometimes have told me, Mommy, why are you always doing this? They'll tell me, why are you always in the office? They'll ask me such things, and I'm like, that's a cue to actually ask myself, do I need to spend this much time in the office? Is this the right time to do that? You need to make time for me. And for me, family is very, very important. Having daughters is amazing. It's a lot of fun. Having kids in Australia, especially growing up in Kenya where you have help, you kind of to some extent compare, because it's hard work, but it's very rewarding because the connection you have with your kids is different, and then you kind of have a lot of opportunity to instill values in them, and also a lot of opportunities to be a role model to your kids. And so for me, I think I really embrace this opportunity to spend time with them, although it's not easy. When you're trying to build an empire, trying to hustle, trying to find time to manage all that, and grow the family as well as have time for them, because my kids, they're into music, they're into dance, and I want to make sure that they don't miss out on those opportunities. So it's a big juggle, but it's amazing. We are blessed.
How is it like what's that experience now, like having to be a nurturer, but then you're also working, you then have to cultivate that relationship with your husband? How is that, like that whole experience for you?
I think it's an experience that it takes a lot of sacrifice and rearranging yourself and learning and unlearning a lot of stuff, because trying to find the sweet spot for all of you is not easy, because I know there's a lot of talking about work-life balance, but it's very important, because one of the things is I want to continue pursuing my passion, pursuing my goals, but I also don't want to miss out on this precious time with my family and the kids when they're young. And sometimes I've had examples of people who will say, even in marriages, you focus so much on other things, and so your kids, you're hustling, and then you forget about each other as partners. So when the kids grow up and when you hustle, you're not hustling that much anymore, you kind of have lost each other in between. So it's always you have to constantly work on those things and be consciously aware that you have to put in the effort to be there for your partner, for your children, but also continue pursuing your passion.
How do you and Uncle Boomzo find time to connect with children, work? Like what?
I think it's a conversation that we have a lot, and we are always trying to figure out what's the ideal thing. And sometimes you come up with solutions and then you find they're not realistic. You say, oh, we're gonna be having date night every night on this day, and then things just don't work, because his job is also very demanding. But I think what we do is we incorporate those things into something else. So for example, like last weekend the kids were at home with with a babysitter, and we got an opportunity to go out, just us, and do our thing. So we'll try and do that every now and then, but it's something that you have to consciously do it, because if you don't, you can go for a very long time where yes, you're hanging out, but not the two of you, just the two of you. So I think it's just a matter of always having that conversation and figuring out what's the best thing that's going to work for us, because sometimes it's not the weekends, because the weekends you have the kids. Is this something that you can do during the week? So I think you find your rhythm, but things change all the time, so just remain flexible, but always communicate about it. And Boomzo will not hesitate to tell me, girl, you've been too busy, you need to make time for me.
On this path of life that I'm on right now, I'm always thinking about the future. I'm always thinking about my financial future. How can I make important moves now that are going to impact me when I'm older? This video is sponsored by Raiz. Every time you get an income, you can set weekly, monthly, daily investment goals. You can put aside money while you're growing and seeking the best future for yourself. For me, what I do is every week I have an amount and it puts the money into the stock market. It's all about compounded interest. The actions and the things that you do today are impacting your future. So for me to continually having that compounding interest of money being put away into the stock market, by the time I'm 30, 40, 50 years old, that amount is generational wealth. That is the power of compounded interest. It's always important to think about your future, always important to think about tomorrow and 20 to 30, 40 years from now. What Raiz has done with the Rubasha Family Podcast, they're going to give you $5 once you sign up with the Raiz app and you're approved. You can start your financial journey today. None of this is financial advice. Hit the link in the description, get $5 into your account once you're approved, and get started on your investment journey today.
And I really respect that. And so my part is to listen and go like, okay, I need to kind of, step back a little bit and really remind myself what are the most important things for me. And for me, family is very, very important. And so I take responsibility in playing my role in making sure that I'm making time for my kids and my partner.
Because it's a balance. You got to be there for your kids, and then like you said, you don't want to lose that type of connection. You get so much into kids and providing and sometimes it could be maybe easy to
and the kids will give you feedback.
Really?
Yeah, if you're busy, if you're always busy, the kids will say it. And my kids sometimes have told me, Mommy, why are you always doing this? Why are you always they'll tell me, oh, why are you always in the office? They'll ask me such things, and I'm like, that's a cue to actually ask myself, do I need to spend this much time in the office? Is this the right time to do that? Because sometimes you can get carried away and work even at a time which you've not allocated for working.
Wow.
So,
and it's that having that balance. So is there any things like you remember now, you as a mother, like you do subconsciously from seeing your mother, or any knowledge that you had from your mother you impart into your children? Like, do you know what I mean?
I think